Peace, starlings, for an elder is among us. Ayo, what? Wait. Look who just subscribed. Hey, someone gifted subscription. Thank you for that. Coco Village. Beef. I'm back, bitches. What's up? Hello. How's it going? Dog is under table. Wow. That was quick. We went from 0 to dog wanting a treat faster than ever before. Oh, okay. Oh my gosh. He's destroying everything. So before he destroys everything, let's take care of getting the dog a treat. Is among us. Because he's destroying everything. Okay, let's take care of this. 1 second. I present to you the lad. Beat. The boy. It is dog. I brought him here for you. He's like, give me a goddamn treat. All right, hold on. Okay, over here. Oh. Come a little closer. Yep. Okay. Oh. Oh. And then also, I have another surprise for you. You ready? Check the socks. Shakespeare socks, bitches. My socks are Shakespeare. My feet wrote Romeo and Juliet. And that's gonna be on theme for today's stream. Because I'm British now, by the way. I'm British, if you didn't know. I'm now British, which means I no longer say my T's, which is difficult because I enunciate everything. So let's see. Here's the dog finishing up his treat. We'll get to our intro momentarily. Just gotta let him finish stealing the show for a bit, see where he lands. Let's see. Are we going right to the bed? Right to the bed. Just immediately. He got his treat and then just straight to the bed. Oh, gotta wreck it. Just chaos. Absolute chaos. What are we doing here, buddy? Is there an end goal to this madness? I don't think you're like, he's not moving anything. He's just scraping at the fabric. We're gonna let him do that. See if we can get the camera here centered on the action. Perfect. All right. Are you getting that? Is that audio coming through? It is a soundscape in here. I'm thoroughly invested in what he's trying to accomplish here. Oh, we're knocking the blanket off. He's like, get this shit out of here. It's not blanket season. It's too warm for blanket season. Get it off. Get it out. Dear Lord. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and start the stream now. Hello, everybody. My name is Endeavorance. It is Tuesday, May 6th. Hell yeah! And also a year. I'm glad that I got that one because yesterday was Cinco de Mayo, which was preceded by Cinco de Cuatro, which is like my favorite gag from Arrested Development. How's everybody doing? Let me see. I saw we've got a few new chatters here. I want to call you out. Safe Cove, welcome. First time catching a stream. I'm so glad that you're here. I'm back and ready to entertain. So welcome in. Is there anyone else? I thought that I saw another new folk. Koi Cadaver, thank you for the follow. And let's see, we got some subscribes that I missed. Ollie, thank you for the sub, 20 months. That's absurd. Foggy Bog, 3 months. And Ollie gifted a sub. And then Tomato at 25 months, which is just wackadoo. Over 2 years. We've crossed the 2-year mark. My goodness. Koi Cadaver says, hey, it's you. You just posted on Patreon. Is this the Q&A? This is not the Q&A, but thank you for giving me an excuse to plug my Patreon. Patreon. Yeah, I just posted the this month's call for questions on my Patreon. Everyone who subscribes to any tier of my Patreon can submit questions, and I do like an in-depth, as much as I can, response to every question once a month on Patreon. It's one of my favorite things, actually. Like the questions get like really, really good, and I will humor them to the best of my ability. So get creative with what you ask. But this is not that Q&A. Those are posted on Patreon. Milo with the 24 months, 2 years. Let's go. Welcome back, Dev. Just popping in to say hello because I only got a few minutes. Hope y'all are doing well. Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much. 2 years. That's just whack. Good God. Let's see. Hi, Dev. I hope you're doing okay and feeling okay. Well, thank you. I am doing and feeling. Whether or not it's okay, it wavers moment to moment. But I'm feeling generally aight enough to stream. I've taken severe cold and flu Alka-Seltzer, which is new to me. I was never an Alka-Seltzer boy, but I'm a convert. I'm a recent convert to Alka-Seltzer. So currently not flemming it up. I did that for you. Arrhythmia took over the colors and everything is black. Or transparent, rather. What happened? Nice. You made it go transparent. Incredible. That's kind of sick. This is the brutalist approach. Awesome. No idea why that happened, but pretty good. Yeah, there's going to be some bugs. There will be bugs with the old stream overlay, as it were. Oh, we're back. I'll get to all of that in a little bit, but I want to talk for a little while about stuff. Yeah, let's see. Hello from Scotland. Scotland is not a place that I went on my trip. Yeah. Cobalt Trinket. First of all, thank you for the follow. Second says, genuine question, but how are people not freaking out about the supply chain issue more? I think people are freaking out about the supply chain issue. I don't think there's much we can do about it, right? Like freaking out about it is fair. Freaking out about it more isn't going to accomplish much. Because, like, to be clear, the man ran on a platform of tariffs and won. Like, this was... aside from, you know, overt racism and deporting everybody, this was like his core campaign thing was, I'm gonna just throw tariffs everywhere. And that's what he's doing. You can't say he's not doing what he said he was gonna do. So, like, not enough people understand the impact yet. I think the freaking out, I think the actual impact, the actual pushback, and the actual effectiveness is going to happen when people are getting hungry. People do not care about abstract concepts until they're hungry. Until those abstract concepts turn back around and make them hungry, they're not going to care about it. You can explain all day long why certain policy is good for someone, but if they're apathetic, if they don't operate from a place of, I want to make decisions every day that improves the lives of those around me as well as myself, if that's not how they think, which a lot of people don't think that way. A lot of people straight up just self-serve, and anything beyond that, they don't give a shit. Until they are hungry, it won't matter. But when they're getting hungry, the people who are in charge are the one who are going to be taken down. That's the, eat the rich. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people who are not hungry, but they're bored. And when they're bored, they find reasons to make up why they shouldn't be bored by feeling persecuted, which is how we get this like weird Christians believing that they're being persecuted in America for some reason situation. And then we get people like Trump in office because we have everyone freaking out about the trans people who are going to trans their children and turn the frogs gay or whatever. And yeah, they're bored. They are satiated and have nothing else to do, and they're bored. When they're not satiated and they're hungry, that's when they're going to actually have to think and realize what's going on. So, yeah, no. there's that. Any weird stuff with customs on the way home? My cousin said it seemed normal, wondering anecdotal examples. I had no problems with customs. I also am a white male. So I didn't expect to have problems with customs, but I was still nervous. Let's talk about the trip. Let's talk about the trip. Let's talk about the trip because there's plenty of really awful things going on that we'll talk about later. But I feel like we should all take a quick moment and talk about my trip to London. That's what we're here for. You know, that's what the people want is the slideshow. They want me to set up a slideshow, tell you to sit down and shut up while I show you pictures of my London trip. Spill the tea. Ha 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 ha. I get it. Mind the gap. Yes, holy shit. Also, Great Western Railway. Okay, so here is what happened. Koi Cadaver subscribed. That's what happened. What happened is I went on a trip to London so that Koi Cadaver could subscribe. Thank you very, very much. What happened was I went to the UK. I went for about 10 days. I spent most of it in London and a few days in Cornwall, in Falmouth, which was, I wish I spent more time there. It was ridiculously beautiful, but we'll get to that later. So first things first, I know, so I've been out of the country a few times. I've been off continent a handful of times. I'm not a massive world traveler type. Like I haven't gone all around the world to experience everything that the world has to offer and whatnot. I have too many sleep problems for that, which was definitely an issue on this trip as well. But even just going to Britain, just going to England, the difference in just moment-to-moment quality of life between there and America, or the United States, is wild. It is so much nicer to just exist there. Like, existence is easier there. For one, you can hear a pop pop and you're not worried about it being gunshots. That's kind of a big one. You don't really realize how much ambient stress you've got hanging around as an American with that. But two, everything's just cleaner and smoother, which is like, if you are oh, dog moved. I don't know where the dog went. If you are a Brit, right? If you're a Londonite and you think that London is like dirty or run down, you've no idea what you're talking about. Like, you have no perspective whatsoever. Like, if you go to New York City, which is, I would say, comparable, right? In terms of like cultural significance of a city, relatively comparable in terms of like scale, probably not sprawl, but as far as infrastructure and city setup, New York City is going to be relatively close to London in terms of being able to make a fair comparison. You just take the subways of both cities. You take the tube versus the subway. The subway is incomprehensible and dirty as fuck. Everything is grimy. Everything is falling apart. Every single station looks like it hasn't been cleaned in like multiple decades. If they have an issue with a line, they like tape a piece of paper to a column and hope that people see it. And like, that's how they handle outages and announcements. You go to the tube, the underground, whatever it's called, in London. One, the trains are running mostly on time and also way more frequently than the subway or any other US-based light rail that I've been on. And two, the stations are nice. Like, they're nice. Some of them are much older, for sure. Like, some of them are really old, but even the older ones are like cleaned and kept and function. And then there's the newer ones that are like gorgeous, absolutely beautiful, like marvels of construction and engineering. Bank Station, which is confusing as fuck and a really weird station, is still amazing. Like, to go through it, I'm just like, There's no way this would exist in the United States. It's like too well funded. It's truly baffling. And that's just the London Underground. Otherwise, like around the city, like, yeah, there's problems in every city. Like some people made a joke about the place that I was staying was, quote, pretty far from the stabby side of London. And it's like, I believe you that there is a dangerous part of this city. I grew up in Baltimore. Like, Baltimore is a beautiful place. Baltimore is gorgeous. Baltimore also is block by block. Like, you need to know that you don't just walk across multiple boroughs or whatever you want to call them, like multiple smaller segments of the city. You don't walk through certain areas. And it's just understood. And it's like, to again, not worrying that I'm hearing a pop sound and it's a gunshot. It's just a different level. It's a completely different level. And then I come back to the US, and the first thing that I do is I go use a restroom in the airport. Now, mind you, I went from Heathrow to somewhere in the US. I went from Heathrow to a major international US airport. When I left, when I used the restroom before I left at Heathrow, every stall worked. Like, there was one sink that was out of order and it had a meaningful out of order thing. There was, like, it was clean. All of the stalls had floor to ceiling doors. It was a perfectly usable, reasonable bathroom. And then I land in the States and I'm reminded of just how awful our public bathrooms are. With, like, I go to use the only stall that's available of 3, where in Heathrow they had like 30. They had 3 stalls. The only one that was available was the handicap stall, which its door was broken. The only way I could actually get the door to latch was to use both of my fully functional arms to jimmy the door up and slam it closed so I can lock it. So if you are wheelchair bound or don't have 2 arms, you might not be able to use this stall at all. And then there's still the like 1-inch gap between the door and the wall and everything, so anyone can just look on through and see you. Like, that is standard. That's rough. In the States, everything was dirty. The toilet was just completely covered in piss and shit. And like, it's mind-boggling. The amount of filth. And this is like in a major international hub airport in a very affluent place in the States. And that's still awful. Like, the level of service and quality and care is just 10 rungs lower. Like, what I mostly realized was, like, no one cares in the States. No one gives a shit about anything. There's no pride in anything anymore. There's no sense of ownership or custodianship. There's no sense of honor in keeping things nice and serving people. We see that as low and beneath us. So, like, yeah, everything is shit here. I go to London. Every single restaurant that I ate at, best service I've had at a restaurant, and there's no tip. There's no tipping. Also, every restaurant just has the tap to pay stuff already. Like, they've had that for like a decade. When you're done with your meal, they just come over with the thing, you tap your phone and you walk out. There's no like, here's your receipt, or here's your check, look it over, like figure out a tip, you know, then we're going to take your card and go charge it and come back. No, it's just like, boop, okay, bye. Like, why would they keep you there? They want to get you out and refill that seat. But also, they treated me like a person and like gave me better service than service that I would tip 20% for in the States, which is everything, because not tipping is bad. It's mind-boggling. It's like, just the main thing I'm reflecting on is we have convinced so many people that like investing in anything is bad. Investing in any quality of life stuff is bad and socialist. Meanwhile, every one of those policies over in Europe just makes everyone's quality of life better, and people are generally just happier. It's crazy. It's just so stark. Yeah, things were cleaner. Service was better. Interactions were just generally nicer. People were really like, the Londonites were thoughtful. There was a ton of tourists, right? And like, the tourists were awful, of which I was one. But there was a shitload of French tourists especially, and they just do not pay attention to their surroundings. The number of people that would just walk while looking at their phone and never look up, it doesn't matter if they're about to like jump into, like bump into you or whatever. They don't look up, they don't get out of the way, like you have to navigate around them. And if you bump into them because they didn't look up, they get mad at you. It's, ugh. Let's see. Also, people who work service jobs are treated like shit by clients, not paid a living wage, so I put in effort. Yeah, it's a horrible self-fulfilling prophecy, right? Like, people aren't paid well in service jobs. People treat service jobs like shit. People in service jobs don't want to put in more effort because they're being treated like shit and they're broken down and not being paid well. And so then people are upset with the service workers. And so they're like, wow, service workers are awful. We shouldn't pay them more. Yeah. Happiness is communism, though. We can't have that. Yeah, I mean, and as a Tanner said, yeah, it's the push of rugged individualism, and it's gross. Yeah, the notion that we need to never pay our taxes, we should never support making things better, we should never support improving like the roads. We could just have things. We could just have nice things. They've got parcel drop boxes just dotting the sidewalks. If you need to ship something, there's Royal Mail parcel drop boxes just everywhere. That's just like not a thing here. We just don't have that. You like basically have to go to a post office or UPS or FedEx or whatever. It's a huge pain. And like even just one thing I did notice that was really interesting that I think the US does better, but the UK is clearly more interested in trying to do better, is accessibility. So in the States, at least currently until this gets destroyed, the ADA has pretty good like foundational rules for making buildings accessible. Like, that's why if there's ever a staircase, there's usually a ramp nearby or an elevator of some kind. We are pretty good about making sure that things are accessible, usually. In the UK, obviously, it's a much older place. It was built a lot longer ago and is a lot less malleable in that way. But they're working on improving accessibility, and they have much more signage and moment-to-moment information about how to navigate and how to be, or how to get where you want to go, given certain restrictions. So all of the terminals in the light rail and the tube will tell you like this is a handicap accessible platform, but there's a step between the train and the platform, or there's no step between the train and the platform and no step between the platform and the street. So like there's different classifications of like how accessible each station is. And if you can't make it through one station, there will be like explainers of what other station to go to, get off where, and then they'll have like posted signs above ground directing you of how to get where you're trying to go. So they actually guide you places and they explain what to do. They have things like on the ground, they at an intersection, it tells you which way you should be looking to be cautious of traffic. If you need to look both ways or one way, it literally just tells you on the ground right in front of you before you walk. Just stuff like that. Like everywhere there's signage that makes everything more approachable and accessible. And like, I really appreciate that because I'm terrible at following directions. So having more signage is great for me too. As Inky just said, accessibility makes everyone's life better. Yeah, the more accessible things are, the easier it is for everyone. No idea why somebody goes on vacation and stares at their phone. Weird. Yeah. Well, a lot of people were like also just taking pictures by standing in the middle of the entire street. Like I would be on a footbridge and people would just stand in the middle of the footbridge holding their phone out like this to take a picture of something off in the distance. And it's like, you know, you can just like click a photo and keep going or step to the side if you need to frame something, but like they'll just stop in the middle of moving traffic and people will bump into them and they're like, I'm trying to take a picture. Like, we're not psychic. You don't just slam the brakes on your car to take a picture of something on the horizon in the middle of a highway. You don't do that while you're in a footbridge. People are moving and they can't stop as quickly as you decide to stop. But yeah, London was fun. It was really fun. I love the juxtaposition of like the newer buildings with like the really, really old stuff. I really liked that. Went to a tavern with my good buddy Seb, how to do voices. We got to meet in person, which was wonderful. And he took me to a tavern that was twice as old as the States. So I ate and drank at a tavern that's 2 times the age of my country, which is wild. That was fun. And then yeah, went to Cornwall, went to Falmouth, which was like a portside town, and I learned this is a safe space, right? Is this a safe space? I hope this is a safe space, because I'm gonna be very vulnerable for a second here. When I got to Falmouth, which again is in Cornwall, I started noticing that there was a bunch of signs for like Cornish ice cream and Cornish delicacies. And it wasn't until several hours into being in Falmouth in Cornwall that I realized Cornish refers to Cornwall. Like that area, that region. That's what Cornish means. I didn't ever fucking put that together. I never thought about where Cornish things came from, like a Cornish game hen and Cornish ice cream and Cornish cream. Like, never thought about that until I got there and put 2 and 2 together. So, the reminder, I'm a dumbass. Like, I'm a dumbass. I was like, man, they sure have a lot of Cornish stuff here. Oh. That's why. Oops. Too corn-brained. The States did it to you. Yeah, I'm based in Cornpilled. Obviously, Cornish things come from Cornland. Oh god, we love Cornland here. Back when town limits were walls, it made more sense. Oh, Cornwall. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I felt bad about that one. But had some really, really good food. Ate some great Indian food, which was wonderful. Saw the Tower of London was the only like castle-ish thing that I actually managed to get to, which was unexpected. I thought I was gonna do a lot more castles, but turns out it's hard to sleep when you have insomnia and are time shifted 6 hours. And so I missed like 2 entire nights of sleep while I was out there and did not have the energy to do all the things I wanted to do. But that's okay. Very happy to be back. It was really fun to get out and just like be away and somewhere else for a bit. Pretty unfortunate to come back and just immediately start seeing all the terrible shit again. But it is what it is. The last time that I was in another country actually was Jamaica in like it was right after Trump won the first time. So like almost a decade ago, which is a terrifying thought. So I was in Jamaica like right after Trump won, and I remember people asking me like, what happened? Like how did this happen? And I was like, look, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what America's just, we're just awful, and I don't know. But yeah. So I'm back. I did not have issues with customs. I will say customs in the UK was hilarious because it was just like there was an arrow that was like, if you don't have to declare anything, go this way, and then you just walk out. Like there really wasn't anything else. And then coming back to the States, I was a little spooked, but I got through customs relatively quickly and without being asked any further questions. But right before I went through customs, I posted about the US being run by fascist morons. And I was like, I probably shouldn't have done that. But I've definitely heard about people having their stuff taken and like their socials rifled through. It's gross. As a reminder, if you have an iPhone, you can hold power and volume up for a few seconds, and that will bring up the like shutdown / emergency menu. And after that, your phone will require you to have to put in a password to get back into it. So if you have like Face ID enabled one, you can either turn that off or you can just do the little trick to temporarily require a password. And that will prevent most cops and security agents or whatever from being able to get into your phone. So there's that. Imagine being in a country that is literally just a manifestation of trauma and daddy issues. Yeah. Yeah. Like, imagine being in a country that doesn't think people deserve food. Imagine being in a country that doesn't feed its children. Like, we will put children into debt so that they can eat. What? Why? What are we doing that for, huh? What? Why do we do that? What are we doing that? What are we doing that for? Doesn't seem very Christian of us. And given that we are a devout Christian nation and nothing else, I feel like we should probably feed them children's. Hey, yo, feed them kids. You know, got them fuck them kids. Yo, feed them kids. Feed them kids. Oh, this is a new shirt. This is not available yet in my merch store. I wanted to get feedback on it. This is it's embroidered. I don't know if you can see that, but it's embroidered. But I don't know if I like it or not. Like, is it too small? Unclear. How are we feeling? Here's a better view. Here, let me take this off. Yay, nay, bigger, smaller, move like tiny, like. I wanted to get it. I wanted to have an embroidered one because like I wanted it to not fade. So yeah, but. Why are we feeding kids to Christians? I don't know how to tell you this, but they have thick goth baddies in other countries too, and those ones have accents. Oh, yeah. If you are looking for a thick goth baddie, go to London. Holy shit. I was thrilled with the, just like the general fashion in London. People were like the pale goth aesthetic. It is running rampant there still. Like it is alive and well. And I was having emotions about it. I was having feelings about it. Yeah, there's a lot of thick goth chicks in the UK. So, and they have British accents. So, y'all, the British people are hilarious. British people are hysterical. So, first of all, they're not doing anything to defeat the everything is named something absurd allegations. The first thing that happened after I stepped off the plane was I got on the tube on a line that terminated at a place called Cock Jockey? No. Cock. Does anybody know what the place is? It's Cock something. There's cocks involved. No. It's not Cock Poppy. It's not Cockney. Oh God, what is the London Underground to Cock? What if I just search to that? Cock Fosters. That's what it is. Cock Fosters. Yeah. So the first thing I do is get on a train to Cock Fosters. Like, all right, okay, cool. And like the next thing I notice, and this is one I didn't expect, the accepted term for like restroom or bathroom is just toilet. So you go to someone, you're like, hey, where's the toilet? Like you'll be at a restaurant and you go up to a well-dressed waiter and you're just like, where's the toilet? And like, that's not considered rude. Like in the States, it's a little forward. Like it's a bit crude. It's not like it's an unacceptable way to ask, but it's like a bit crude. You would usually say like, where's the restroom? Where's the bathroom? Where's the powder room? You wouldn't just say toilet. Where's the toilet? And that's also what's written on the wall. It'll just say like toilet that way. Oh, I guess I know where the toilet is. So I love the like politeness and the vibes of like being very cordial and polite and sophisticated. And they're like, hey, where's the toilet at? Australia's 50-50 on that. I feel like Australia takes it to more extremes, right? Like their crude is as crude as you can go. The other thing is they're definitely not beating the allegations of just like sounding hilarious. Like all of their accents are fucking hysterical. When they're getting loud, like when they're getting like worked up about something and they start yelling, they become completely unintelligible. And also, I was walking at one point and heard what I thought was a gaggle of like, I don't know, early college-aged girls talking about stuff. Because they were talking about like buying drugs on Telegram and stuff like that. I turn around and stop for a second, and this group walks past me, and it turns out it was a bunch of like prepubescent boys that were just indistinguishable from college-age girls by voice, and made it all the funnier because y'all are not fucking buying drugs on Telegram. Come on now. Like, y'all are just trying to look cool in front of your friends by talking about buying drugs and shit. You're like 11. Calm down. JT Bing Sing says, I don't know if it's harder to make but the bar across the text at an angle you hold it would be cool. Otherwise, good shirt. Interesting. I'll take a look. It might get weird with like having things intersect. I'm not sure, but we'll take a look. Cock Fausters or Cock Fosters? Cock Fosters. Like the word cock, like cock, like rooster, and then foster, like foster children. Cock Fosters. My husband has brought me a sacrifice. I am appeased. Lord Attainers. Great and powerful attainers. Sacrificed. Cringe kids are universal. Yeah, absolutely. That's another thing, though. Aside from, like, you know, teenagers being teenagers, the children, like the children, were so much better behaved. Like, holy shit, so much better behaved. I sat next to this one. I was in a restaurant getting some breakfast, and there was this guy that took his daughter in with her, and it was like the two of them, and it was like they were at a business meeting. They were like sitting across from each other. She had her like hands folded, completely polite. She was maybe 5, and like he ordered for her and everything. Like she, you know, was too like nervous to talk to the waiter and shit. But like she was so well behaved, sat there, like held a conversation with him, ate her food without being picky about it. I was floored. I was fully expecting an iPad kid to be blasting like YouTube next to me the entire time. And then like other kids, like school children that were out and about, were actually like standing in line and being orderly. And maybe it's because of like the generational trauma that they've got going on over in the UK, but also the kids in the States are whack. Just unhinged. I was at a food hall recently that had a couple of bars, and like it wasn't an explicitly adult location, but there were like, it was a food hall centered around a beer bar and a cocktail bar. Like it sort of implied that that's who they're catering to. And this gaggle of essentially unmonitored children come in. I want to say aged like 5 to 13, and they just start wreaking havoc. One of the kids, I'm like saving a seat at the bar next to me for my friend who was going to meet me. One of the kids just comes over and like grabs one of the stools from the bar and like runs away. The stool that I was going to be saving for a friend. And I'm like, oh, what the fuck? And like he just, what? And then he like jumps onto it and starts jumping off of it like a game or something. I think I mentioned this before on stream, but another group of girls that were a little bit older wanted to record a TikTok. And so they put up one of their phones using the table at a booth that someone was actively sitting at and working at. They used his water glass to prop up their phone while they did a TikTok dance next to his table. Like, they just did that. Like, imagine you're sitting there and someone is suddenly using your drinking glass to prop up their phone to record a TikTok without even saying anything to you. Like, they just walked up and did that. it's bazonkers. Like they're just unhinged and they just do whatever. And then of course, like, I don't know what happened. Maybe there was a global pandemic, but for whatever reason, these kids are constantly coughing, and they always cough with the openest mouth imaginable. They'll just be like walking along and then just like, like, why is that how you cough? Did no one tell you that you're supposed to like do this? Like, we just, like, I know you grew up in a pandemic, but I know you probably grew up seeing everyone coughing. Please don't do that. Little kids always do that. I remember, I was coming back from a trip to LA last year, and while we were like standing and waiting to get off the plane, there was these 3 children that were just taking turns like coughing into each other's mouth as a game. Like that was the game they came up with, was in a circle, cough into each other's mouth. That they were like, this is fun. This is a fun use of life and will in a public airplane, like while we're all like crammed together, and they were directly in front of me, and I'm just like, why is this happening? What is going on? I know that like natural selection is a thing that we've been working to like push back against by making sure we've got like decent medication and people are taken care of. But like, this is what it used to stop. Was this Florida? No, this was not Florida. Do we not remember COVID? I don't know. I know that kids are just gross. Like kids are gross. Kids are gross, and kids are dirty and germy and get sick all the time. And that's like on purpose, because you're a little bit more able to handle shit, and you need to build up that immunity. Like you need to, as a kid, you get sick a lot to build up immunity. It still isn't wonderful to just be dealing with that as someone who doesn't want kids and doesn't want to be around kids, to have to be like, okay, time to get away from these kids who are coughing into each other's mouths. Might be an Ohio thing, but people do it all the time here. Adults, no covering on my counter. Oh, I thought you were going to say like adults were coughing into each other's mouths. I've seen a nutty amount of full-on adults, like 30-plus-year-olds, cough like that. I think people are just broken. I think people are busted. I think a lot of people are, hello, Fire Drops. Yo, sick name. Welcome. I think a lot of people are not coming to terms with how much COVID racked their brain and their capacity for like paying attention and just existing in a society. The amount of just COVID stare that I get, like it used to just be that sometimes I would get like the lead paint stare from like boomers. You go to the grocery store now and people just of all ages, all creed, all everything will just stare at you. It's like, hey, I need to get past you with my cart. Your cart is in the middle of the aisle. I'm just trying to navigate in this shared space, and they're just like, what do I do with that? It's the modern za. One of the most fascinating things I've witnessed is the fucking COVID stare. It's mind-boggling. It's really weird. It's I know that COVID fucks with your brain. I know that people don't believe that, which is really unfortunate. And also, COVID's not over. Please wear a mask. I don't know how we got here. Again, it goes back to the weird rugged individualism. It goes back to the weird politicizing of wearing a mask. It confuses me to no end that there exists any number of people who get pressed about someone else wearing a mask. Like, if I'm wearing a mask, I think I'm very lucky to have a physique that people aren't going to come up and like start shit with me arbitrarily. But if I'm wearing a mask, I definitely get looks sometimes. I don't understand why people would be upset about that. Because like, I'm trying to not get you sick. I'm wearing a mask because I've been coughing and I don't know if I'm contagious. I don't want to get you sick. And if I protect myself a little bit too, great. But because people never learned like how masks work, and because people like refuse to acknowledge that people are worth trying to keep alive by way of wearing a mask in certain situations. We just never got there. I was hopeful that after COVID, I was hopeful vainly that after COVID, people would start just wearing masks when they're sick at all. Unfortunately, there hasn't been an after COVID because nobody wore fucking masks. I've seen many more aggressive drivers from 2016 onwards, probably just coincidence. The driving is really interesting. Like, everybody went off the road during COVID and then fucking forgot how to drive. People are so bad at driving. People are so bad at driving. Oh my God. Oh my Lord. We shouldn't have cars. We should ban cars. And also, if we're going to have cars, people need to be fucking better at driving. The fact that we don't retest people regularly in order to see if they're still capable of piloting a multi-ton hunk of metal propelled by fire or electricity in some cases. Because people just do not pay attention. That's what gets to me the most, is the people who are at like the front of a stoplight and they're just on their phone and the light turns green. And it's like, you have exactly one thing to focus on right now. You are driving a car. You are at the front of the line at a stoplight. You were waiting for it to turn green to start accelerating. And I understand if you want to like wait a little bit to make sure there's no further cars coming through the intersection. That's different. I'm talking about the people, light turns green and you can visibly see that their head is tilted down looking at their phone. What are you doing? Stop that. Knock it off. It just enrages me to no end. Like, if you're going to be driving, be driving. Get out of the fucking way and make things safe for people. Like, be an active participant. Same with four-way stop signs. People have forgotten how that shit works. I try so hard. If I see that there's gonna be if I see somebody approaching an intersection, a stop sign intersection that I am also approaching, I will intentionally try to stagger my approach to the stop sign so that they get there clearly before I do, so that they know with no doubt in their mind that they have right of way. I want to give them that because I don't want it to be ambiguous and we're both sitting there thinking we both have the right of way and neither of us can go. It doesn't matter though. I will slow myself down and creep up and like approach the sign and then stop, and they will have been at the stop sign for multiple seconds. And I'm sitting there like, I did this for you, and nothing, absolutely nothing. Oh God, roundabouts, don't get me started on roundabouts. People in the States do not know how to use roundabouts. If you're not from the States, you might call it a rotary or like the circle thingy. People in the States have no idea how they work, not even remotely. Which is infuriating because they are provably better than a stoplight intersection. Like, basically every stoplight could just be a roundabout and traffic would flow better, assuming people know how they work. That said, don't beep at me if I don't start driving 0.5 seconds after the light turns green. I understand not trusting traffic to stop. There are definitely situations where it's like, we've been sitting at this light, there is no other traffic in sight. And if you weren't looking at your phone, you would know that. So the light turns green. I'm not saying that I'm going to start honking at you in 0.5 seconds. But if the light turns green and there's nothing visible in front of us, and it's been like 5, 6, 7 seconds, like, what are you doing? Look. Especially because lights are just so shittily timed here. God, I hate stoplights. Just the fucking bane of my existence. Even when they don't know how they work, roundabouts are better because the accidents happen at lower speeds and there's less disruption and death. Yeah, you're not going to get T-boned in a roundabout. Like, you just physically can't. And there's a barrier in the middle. Hello, Fire Drops. First time chat says, in the before times of the way back in 2017, I had to explain to coworkers that people wear a mask because they're sick and don't want to spread it. This concept was absolutely foreign. Yeah. Yeah, people did not pay attention. They didn't want to learn. They didn't want to think about it. They just wanted to believe that that COVID is just a common cold and nothing more. And that couldn't be further from the truth. But unfortunately, an entire political wing of the United States put their full weight against the notion of wearing masks because reasons. And they couldn't really explain why, because none of the science backed them up. So they had to create new conspiracy theories that muddied the waters around the actual science and gave people reasonable doubt, in theory, about the settled science of how all of this shit works and how this and what this disease is. And so people heard all of that weirdness, didn't want to even get involved, and just figured that the reality was somewhere in the middle, because people in the States have busted ass brains and think that every solution is somewhere in the middle when that's not true. And so they're like, well, the left says that it's a disease that can fuck with your immune system, cause cognitive decline, and has a pretty high rate of death among people with pre-existing conditions. And the right says you should take horse dewormer and zinc or whatever and ignore all science, and if you take the vaccine, you're going to be microchipped. So it's probably just a common cold. And then we have a critical mass of people who are now walking around with long COVID without even knowing it. And they're like, man, why am I so fatigued all the time? And why do I have stomach aches all the time? And why am I dizzy all the time? Why can't I remember things? It's like, you have long COVID because COVID. That is why there was a mass disabling event and you ignored it, and you're ignoring its impact on your own body. Be open to being better to yourself. That's it. I learned to drive in a heavy rotary area, so I'm super partial to them. I love not worrying about missing my turn. I just go around again if I need to. Sometimes it's just fun to just keep going. If there's no one waiting to get on the roundabout, just keep going. Just think for a little while. A little mini NASCAR track. The right said it doesn't actually exist, so centers that it's real, but okay. Yeah. Meanwhile, common courtesy in Asia is just to wear one for just a cold anyway. Yeah, like, even if it is just a cold, hey, y'all, we can just, like, not get each other sick. But the whole thing of, like, the states having sick days tied to PTO, like, if you don't have enough time off, you can't take sick days. That's not how sick works. That's not how human do. Give your employees time to heal, and you won't have them spreading shit to other employees and causing more outages. But no, let's force everybody to work instead. Dev, can I have micro sales with my, or micro salsa with my microchips? Ha! Ha! Very good. That's the other thing the EU has on us is sick days and PTO. The EU, time off in the EU is unbelievable. There are some places where you just get entire months off on top of having ample PTO. When people outside of the United States of America learn that ample PTO here is like 14 days, and PTO is not guaranteed, and PTO isn't even a thing if you're part-time, let alone healthcare, and healthcare being tied to employment. Like, when they learn these things, they lose their shit. They think that we have it like weird and kind of rough, and like we work really hard for some reason, but they don't realize that it's because we don't have the option not to. I prefer micro queso. I do like queso. Wait, hell, explain the queso question. Can I get some queso with that? Explain the queso question. For those who are not aware of the queso question, this is important. Get out a notebook, write this down. This is important. If you shit queso, if your poop was queso dip, would you eat it? It is literally queso dip. It is literally queso. It's not dirty, but it came out of your butthole. Would you eat it? That is the queso question. Ask your friends, ask your family, ask your loved ones. If you're going on a first date, it's a great litmus test to see if they can deal with the fact that you've heard about the queso question. Yeah, that's the queso question. What would you say? I'm eating, says Names. Don't look into how restaurant kitchens run. It's rough out there. Restaurant kitchens are terrifying. I never want to work in a restaurant again. And I barely worked in a restaurant. I worked at a Panera. Man, Panera bread is garbage now. My goodness. I've only had it like twice in the past decade, but it is inedible. It's very sad what happened to that place. Private equity ruins everything. Panera fell off big. I have no idea what queso is other than the Spanish word for cheese. Says Call Me Kai. So queso, at least what I'm referring to here, is like a melted cheese dip. It is like a what do they call? What's it called? Salsa queso. I don't actually know what the term would be. Melted cheese with like peppers and onions and like sometimes like chorizo mixed in. Chili con queso. That's the term I'm thinking of. Chili con queso. Yeah. Queso dip. People often just shorten it to just queso here. People also say queso cheese, which is hilarious to me. Nope, my butt gets sweaty. I don't want to eat sweaty queso. Look, what is sweaty queso if not just Velveeta? Hydrate, I can do that. Chili con carne, I think that's beef. That's like stewed beef. I think. Perchance. I'm about to say like chai tea. Oh yeah, yeah. Can I get a chai tea? Beef chili. God, I love that shit so much though. Oh God, I could fuck up some mole, like enchiladas right now. Oh, mole. Oh, mole. God damn it. I think Mexican food would be the only cuisine I wouldn't be able to fully give up. Like if I had to completely erase a cuisine from my life, I don't think that would be anywhere near the list. Yeah. So good for day to day. The amount of places in London that were advertising Mexican street food, and I was like, I don't believe you. I don't believe you. I live in an area that has a very high like Salvadoran population and also a very high Mexican and Ethiopian diaspora population. I am living fucking large when it comes to like foreign foods and like street tacos. Holy shit. You can trip and fall into a like world-class taco place. And when I say world-class, I don't mean like a Michelin place. I mean like no one there speaks a lick of English and it's gonna be the best food you've ever tasted. Hands down. Like you didn't know that steak could taste this good in a steak taco. That kind of place. I also have a very good place nearby that's like I think I'm just hungry. I think what I'm realizing is I'm hungry and I should eat something. Yeah, there's a place that I have nearby that's like a fancy, not fancy, it's like Try Hard Taco Bell. So it's like, it's a place that does really good Mexican street food, but they have a bunch of like gimmicky bullshit on their menu on purpose that's just like their renditions of Taco Bell food. So like they have their own version of a crunch wrap called a munch wrap, and it's stellar. It's so good. Autocorrector's only working when I want to. For anyone who has a phone made by Tim Apple, if you have an iPhone OS phone, has your keyboard just been dog shit recently? Like I felt like my typing ability on my phone is rapidly declining. And I think this happened after they launched what they said was going to be an improvement to the keyboard. I found advice that you can turn off if you go into your like settings for your keyboard and go to your dictionary settings. There's a new dictionary called Apple Dictionary that I think is supposed to like learn how you type or something. And you can disable that. I tried that. It has, I think it has improved things a little bit, but I can't trust my own typing anymore. Like, I can't reliably type anymore. A little place near me now has ramen and boba. Ooh, that's what I should do for lunch. A place just opened up near me that's got ramen and sushi, and I am thrilled because I haven't had an easily accessible good sushi place near me in a while. I used to live next door to an excellent sushi spot, like the kind of place where I went there often enough that I would sit at the bar and the chef would just give me like random fun things that he was working on. Like, hey, I made this like random like nigiri using this like extra cut of something that we got in today that like we can't otherwise use. Here you go. And I'm like, neat. Good sushi is medicine. I do love good sushi. I love a good God, I'm blanking on everything this morning. I'm mad because I explicitly seek out places. A sushi place where the chef just gives you whatever the fuck they want. There's a term, and I'm blanking on it. It's not izakaya. That's different. That's not that. I think it starts with an N. Beef. God damn it. It's not beef. What's it called? Sushi chef tasting menu name. What is that called? Omakase. An omakase. That's what it's called. Let's learn. We're gonna learn. We're gonna get learnt. Omakase is a Japanese phrase used when ordering food in restaurants that means I'll leave it up to you. That's pretty awesome. Okay. The phrase omakase, literally I'll leave it up to you, is most commonly used when dining at Japanese restaurants where the customer leaves it up to the chef to select and serve seasonal specialties. The Japanese antonym for omakase is okonomi? Okonomi. Preference, what one likes. Which means choosing what to order. In American English, the expression is used by patrons at sushi restaurants to leave the selection to the chef as opposed to ordering a la carte. So we've got a Japanese term which opposes a French term for how to order sushi. Perfect. The chef will present a series of plates beginning with the lightest fare and proceeding to the heaviest dishes. God gives his heaviest dishes to his hungriest boys. The phrase is not exclusive to raw fish with rice and can incorporate grilling, simmering, and other cooking techniques. I love nigiri. Hot damn. Here are my tips. If you have not eaten nigiri, eat nigiri. That's my tip. That's my tips. Go do that. If you are not a person who likes raw fish, sushi stuff, first of all, fix that. Second, go get nigiri. If you've like gone to a sushi place and you only ever get rolls, you start with something simple. Get like tuna or salmon, right? It's gonna be delicious. It's gonna be fatty. It's gonna be not too fishy, and it's gonna ease you in. Here are some tips that I had to be taught because of the skin color. Use your fingers. Use your fingies. You just pick up a nigiri, for those who don't know, as opposed to sashimi. Sashimi is just a cut of fish on a plate. Like, that's the sushiest sushi you get, right? Is just sashimi. Usually, if someone says sushi, they're referring to nigiri, which is a cut of fish on top of like a clump of rice and like bonded together usually. So nigiri is just like a sort of like two-part unit. You've got the fish, the rice, sometimes a little bit of nori to wrap it together. But you just pick it up with your hands, and you put it fish side down on the tongue. You can some people say you should one bite it as like a cultural thing. If you don't have a big enough mouth to do that, then don't worry about it. But also take some wasabi, put it in the soy sauce, mix it around, dip some of the fish in there if you want to, chomp. Delicious. But yeah. Did you say fish side down? I usually do fish side down. I was taught fish side down. I've met people who say rice side down. I am not an authority. That is just my tips. If I'm doing a completely incorrect thing, correct me. Mixing wasabi and soy sauce? Oh no. Oh, it's so good though. I'm not trying to say that I'm doing the culturally relevant way to do any of this. I'm not saying that I'm doing this like the way it was meant to be done. But I'm going to take my wasabi, I'm going to put it in the soy sauce, I'm going to take my chopsticks, I'm going to stir that up, you get spicy soy sauce. It's fucking amazing. Like, it's all going on the thing anyway. Just makes it easier. I'm just eating the food. Hell yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, that's all you got to do. But what I'm saying is go get nigiri for me because I'm hungry. Hello, Ash. What's up? Onigiri is the triangle. Is it always? Does it have to be? Does it have to be a triangle? Because I've had like square. Let's see. This boy is allergic to wasabi. That's so unfortunate. That is so unfortunate. Damn. Shit's good though. Oh, musubi is also what I'm thinking of. Yeah, musubi is what I'm thinking of. I've been trying to make this stuff at home recently, like spam musubi. So good. Onigiri is a donut. I always thought it was hilarious in like the Pokemon anime, how it was like, I brought donuts, and it's like, that's a rice ball, my guy. Are you allergic to wasabi or horseradish? True, yeah, most wasabi is just horseradish. Real wasabi, very good. What if I'm the type of autism that likes rules? Then follow the rule of break the rules. Easy. So easy. Sweet soy sauce is goated. I actually don't know much about soy sauce. I know there's like dark soy sauce. Is that the sweet stuff? Or is that just more soy? I'm not a good soy boy. For being a soy boy, I'm a bad soy boy. I don't know if I'm a soy boy. I've been called a soy boy a lot by people who seem to be authorities on who is and is not a soy boy. And I trust their opinion. But I want to take my role as a soy boy seriously. And unfortunately, I've been really slacking on that. So I'll work on reducing my testosterone levels and increasing the old estrogen, right? And for 2, I'm gonna get so much sushi. Holy shit. Anarchotism. Dark soy is just dark. Okay, so it just takes it's used to make the food darker. Okay, so it just makes it taste darker. Got it. Cannot have any soy-based anything, so I use coconut aminos. Is that science? Is that science? You're a bit soy-coated, but not full tilt, no worries. Long hair or glasses would do it, though. I feel like long hair and glasses is more... more soy. Okay, got it. I mean, I'm a broad-shouldered, bald man with a deep voice. I don't know how people come to the like conclusion of soy boy when they look at me, but if that's what they want to say, go for it. Cool. I love me some tofu. I'll have soy sauce glazed ribs. Sounds good to me. I don't know. You're unk coated. I don't know what that means. Uncle is does that mean I've got uncle energy, big uncle energy? It's the ginger aspect, probably. I think it's just that I'm not an ass. Like I'm not an asshole to people, and I want people to be happy, and I want what's good for society, which I guess makes me a soy boy. But if that's what makes me a soy boy, I don't want to be based. Is that the opposite? I don't want to be Giga. You don't look like a Giga Chad, so you must be a soy boy? Damn. I have let myself go. I realized this recently. Not that I let myself go. I haven't been focusing on my physical health as much as I want to be, and I want to change that. I've definitely put on more weight than I would like to, and I feel way more sluggish than I was like 8 months ago. Largely because I had the old Menti B and basically just completely fell off my workout routine and never really got it back. So I should probably get back at that. How dare you not be an ass? I should be an ass. I should be an ass. I should be a dick. Like, I should just be the meanest guy. Hey, everyone, I'm mean now. You are dumb. You are poor. You are too hard on yourself for how nice you treat everyone else. So, you know, that was my heel turn arc. I'm personally offended by that. Oof. Sorry. I don't know what to tell you. Well, shit. If Dev's on his being a dick arc, I guess I gotta get out of here. Oh, damn. I'm sorry, Ash. I didn't mean to scare you. Bro, did you read my diary? I read everyone's diary. I am diaries. Everything that's ever been written is written in my heart. Am not dumb. Am smart goblin. Look. I was once told by a mentor who I respected a lot. Looked at me and he said, Dev, it didn't call me Dev, but he said, Dev, you are real smart, but you're a hell of a dumbass. And that, like, I never beating those allegations. Like, never, ever beating those allegations. He was spot on. I have never been so thoroughly assessed by someone. Absolutely accurate. We need new music. Do we want jangly, digital, or tavern vibes? How are we feeling? I would do a poll, but I'm not going to do a poll. Jangly, digital, or tavern? While you do that, I'm going to see if I can find a beef stick. I found a beef stick. All right. Beef. I'm seeing tavern. We're gonna do tavern. Beef. Did you guys see that Asmongold Gold fell through his ceiling? So if you don't know who Asmongold Gold is, first of all, congratulations. Second of all, it's this guy. You've probably seen him before. He is a very, very, very popular Twitch streamer who used to be like primarily just like a gamer boy WoW player and has like steadily gotten worse and worse and worse and worse and worse over the years. And now he's just like full blown as awful takes as you can possibly make. Like he is like going for a new record of just like the worst fucking takes possible. But he's also disgusting. Like he's a disgusting person. He lives in complete filth. Like can't drink water. He's just nasty as hell. And he was apparently seeking to find the source of a rank smell in his house from somewhere, and went into his attic. This is his streaming setup. This is his streaming setup for context for how dirty this guy is. Is there the picture? Yeah. So he went into his attic to look for what he thought was a dead animal, and he fell through his ceiling, presumably from all the rot and mold in his house. And so he fell out of his he fell through his fucking ceiling and then was like, I'm pretty sure I'm living in Sen's Fortress, as if this is equivalent to Dark Souls. Yeah, Asmon is a special kind of guy. Like, this is clean comparatively for him. Good color. Oh, shit. Oh, that's a nice color. Oh, we did good. Well done, people. Good spins, good spins. I'm super jealous of anyone who hasn't been exposed to average or Asmon's this fire drops. I got into watching him for a split second years back, like many years back. And like, he was never good. I never liked his takes necessarily, but he was at least mostly harmless and consistent. So if I needed background noise, like I knew that he would be there on like his schedule. And I would sometimes, I was following his like coverage of games and shit because he was at least not, he wasn't constantly doing the fucking capital G gamer, oh, this game is woke, blah, 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 blah. And now that's the only thing he does. But I watched him for like, I don't know, a couple of months and I was like, I actually don't give a shit about this guy and stopped watching him. And then like years go by and suddenly he's falling through his fucking ceiling. Is that what they call a NEAT or mental health issues? Maybe it's the mold making him go weird. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of takes of people that are like assuming it's the mold that's getting to him, similar to like getting the mold's getting to J.K. Rowling and whatnot. I think it's probably not the mold and more just who they are. My mom's dog is now sleeping on my bed. Pet the dog. Well, if we're not gonna pet that dog, I'm gonna pet this dog. Let me get the. We got the snooze boy over there. Should I pet the snooze boy? Should I go pet the snooze boy? Praise! Amazing. The boy has been petted. He was like, you woke me up and then walked away. Why? Why would you do this? Surprised he stayed asleep for the beef. He is not a beggar. This dog is a lot of things. He's a bunger. He's a flaily boy. He's a merchant of fine leather goods. He's a professor. He's a licking bottom. He's a wagtail. He's also a double dog and a triple dog, sometimes quadruple dog. And he's a goober. He's also quite underfoot, very flaily, very bitey. Sometimes a shark, sometimes a vampire. He's got a lot of things going on, but he's not a beggar. He like, has pretty much never been fed people food. And so he'll like sniff at things and be like, oh, that's interesting, and then like lose interest and walk away. He won't sit there and beg for your food, which is like the one redeeming thing that I've done in terms of conditioning this animal. Because I have not really done a lot of like obedience training or anything. Like I did the basics, but like, I don't know, he's just a house dog. He's just my buddy. He doesn't need to do tricks for me to love him. Local Gonzo, thank you for the follow. Welcome in, welcome in. Cobalt Trinket says, I bet prolonged mold exposure is going to be heavily researched in a couple of decades because a lot of people's homes aren't made for moisture and people are just going to ignore it. But also that is an adorable boy. Agreed on both counts. It's a versatile boy. He's got a long resume. Begging is a noble profession in some cultures. Well, in this culture, he doesn't do that. I made a good joke. The recipes from Stealth Health Life have really been hitting. What is that? What does that mean? Wait, is he a doc like that one cat? He's a professor. Professor Cornelius Wagtail. He has a master's in wagology. So, I mean, the problem is that like it's a very difficult class. Most people do not pass. My cat is the most well-behaved cat I've ever had. She doesn't care about anything except sleeping and cuddles and eating, especially treats. That is the kind of cat I would get. The problem that I've got with cats is that they are so volatile. Like, you can get a cat that could be the world's biggest fucking asshole or the sweetest thing that's ever existed. And you just don't know what you're gonna get. So maybe I should like look into like older cats that are like, we know what their personality is by now. I don't know. Doesn't want toys, just cuddles. Same. I mean, actually, I do want toys. I like toys. What can I say? Leather procurement localized entirely within your dog's domain. He's a merchant. Okay, sometimes he's a salty sea dog and merchant of fine leather goods. Like when he's a merchant of fine leather goods, he's like a seafaring merchant, to be clear, which is difficult because leather doesn't do particularly well exposed to like that level of salt constantly. But he makes it work. He makes it work. My cat bites me. She thinks I'm a cat and wants to play. Flynn bites me a lot, constantly. In fact, I've already healed. He's very scratchy. He bites a lot, but he doesn't usually puncture skin. He does constantly flail and kick his legs and scratch me all over. It's rough. She's 16 years old, loves belly rubs and kisses on the tum-tum, gives endless kisses to me, and just wants cuddles. Hell yeah. Raised her since 3 months old. That's a wonderful cat. You squeeze that cat. You squeeze the cat. Let's, there's a lot going on in the world. For example, that. But let's take a look at what's going on right now. Don't care about the Met Gala. Okay. Canadian Prime Minister arrives in Washington for high-stakes meeting with Trump. Oh, let's talk about that. Let's talk about the Canadian election results and the Australian election results. Canadian election results. Because this is like some good news. So, the Canadians went hard. And a few weeks ago, there was an election in Canada. And Justin Trudeau had stepped down, passed the baton over for his party to Mark Carney, who won. In Canada, you should know that the Liberal Party is red. That is the functional equivalent of their Democrats, but their Conservatives are basically our Democrats. So the Liberal Party was projected just a few months ago to crash the fuck out. Like, Trudeau wasn't doing his party a lot of favors. People were just not happy. And they were starting to look towards the Conservatives for another option, basically. Similar to in the States, where it's like everybody's feeling like things are bad, and so they're going to punish the party that's currently in power by voting for the other party. But in the States, we voted in a crazy, unhinged dumbass who wants nothing more than to be an actual dictator, and then did all this dumb bullshit. And the Conservative Party in Canada was like, we're gonna do that too. Like, we like that. This is our guide too. We're attaching ourselves to this. We're gonna lean into the like Canadian MAGA movement and all this shit. Did not work. Turns out the entire world is laughing at the States and freaking out about just how awful the Trump presidency is. And like the moment that Trump got into power and started to start talking about Canada becoming the 51st state, the polling for the two parties just switched places. Ultimately, the Liberal Party, which is Justin Trudeau's former party, now led by Mark Carney, won almost enough seats to form a majority, not quite. The Conservative Party way underperformed, and the Conservative Party leader, the guy that was going for the position of Prime Minister, who was going to be like their Trump, lost his seat. That's how badly they did. That's how much people came out against that bullshit. He is not a sitting politician anymore. He lost his seat. That would be like if Mitch McConnell, when he was still Senate leader, was, there's really no comparison for the states because we don't have a parliamentary system, but essentially a party leading position lost his seat because his party did so badly. And then over in Australia, the same thing happened. Like, beat for beat. Their Labour Party just swept, just absolutely shit-rocked the Liberal Party. And in Australia, the Labour Party is the more progressive and the Liberal Party is the more conservative one. Dutton, seen here, doing his best impersonation of Jonathan Blow, lost so badly that he lost his fucking seat. So both places, the like wannabe mini Trump, who was trying to ride those coattails across national borders, lost so badly that they lost their seat. So do not let anyone fucking tell you that Trump is popular, on the world stage, that he commands respect, that people like his policies, that what he's doing makes sense. Like, there's so much sunk cost fallacy happening right now. There's so much effort that people are putting into the mental gymnastics of explaining to themselves why a Trump presidency makes sense, why it's okay that they voted for him, why this is all cool and good, when in reality, it's just a defense mechanism. It is so obviously fucking stupid, but they cannot acknowledge that because to do so would uproot their entire worldview, especially for the people who are like in the cult. It would fuck with them so badly. And what kills me is like I recently saw a video that went like really viral on like TikTok of some small business owner woman, and she was like, my business was on track to start making 6 figures this year, and suddenly like this tariff stuff is like ruining my business. I don't really do politics, but this sucks. And it's like, you did the meme. Like, you've just done the meme. You just said that you don't do politics. Congratulations, you've been done by politics. Like, you don't get to not do politics. You were affected by it. It is the framework with which we exist legally. So when those laws change and when we elect someone who doesn't understand basic global economics, who then starts putting tariffs in place on everything that fucks up your business, that was explicitly you not paying the fuck attention and thinking that your privilege that has gotten you not having to worry about politics so far was going to continue to carry you. But unfortunately, there are people who are out there actively working to strip that privilege and to strip any notion of you having a comfortable life. They don't want you to have that small business and to have it be successful. They want you to be a subservient worker who does nothing but benefit their ownership of your labor. That's it. That is it. That is the structure of this country. There are people who own things, and there are people who try to shift classes from the working class to the owning class. They don't like when that happens. They don't want that to happen because that means less money in their pocket, because they all see life as a zero-sum game. That's why they have to hoard money. Anyway, billionaires shouldn't exist. It should be a capital offense to be a billionaire. Thanks for ending up in such a bad place that everyone else gets a massive reality check. Yeah, like the German elections also sort of went that way. It wasn't as extreme or as intense, but like it is so bad and so recognizably bad that internationally people are like, oh, holy shit. Like, we don't want to continue going down this route. Because there was a big wave of conservative pushback after COVID everywhere around the world. The incumbent powers were screwed by COVID because people were upset that it impacted their lives. And like, I get it. I get that people were upset about COVID. Unfortunately, being upset about COVID and being upset that people tried to do something to mitigate COVID made it way worse. And grifters used that as an opportunity to launch themselves into power. And now we have a grifter in chief and an entire White House staffed with people who want nothing more than to make this a white Christian nation. Stephen fucking Miller, well-documented white supremacist who for some reason is still allowed to be on TV and work at the White House and might be our new national security advisor in a few months. is now talking about wanting to enact a policy called remigration, which is literally just ethnic cleansing. It is the forced deportation of non-white European migrants from America, which is literally ethnic cleansing, but they just have a different word for it. Remigration. Because having diversity is a threat to the Western culture. Fuck it. Do not trust a single person who says anything about Western culture or Western culture being at risk. They're literally just talking about white Christian nationalism. They're just trying to find more words. The full minute and a half of him trying to argue that the superimposed MS-13 on the image of Kilmar's hand tattoos were actually real tattoos. I don't know, it hurts my head so much. Chef de Cuisinart, first of all, thanks for the follow. Second of all, welcome in. Third of all, yeah. Holy God. And then like there's all this shit out of nowhere. He's just now advancing the pace at which he's just spewing random thoughts as if it's policy. We're going to reopen Alcatraz. We're going to put 100% tariff on foreign films. Back to back. What the fuck? What are you talking about? Literally no one wants to reopen Alcatraz. Like not even people who like and want more jails. Like if you are a jail enthusiast, if you are an incarceration enthusiast, you're not like, we should reopen Alcatraz. Like that's nothing. What? That's nothing. Oh my God. And he's like, he posts it, and then the White House staffers have to scramble to figure out how to damage control in a way that still strokes his ego and claims he was right the whole time. So you've got the border czar talking about how, reopening Alcatraz could be a great way to harbor these dangerous terrorist criminal people, blah, 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 blah. No, it doesn't. That's not a good idea. That's not helpful. We have so many prisons. Holy God, we have so many prisons. The Gulf of America thing, and then like banning the Associated Press from the newsroom because they call it the Gulf of Mexico because literally every other country on planet Earth calls it the Gulf of Mexico. Like, there's that. It's just nonstop. He just says things. And then like he was recently asked like, hey, do you like, what did you mean by reopening Alcatraz? Like, what does that really look like? Like, what is that? Why are you suggesting that? And he just goes off on a tangent that makes no fucking sense. And we're just supposed to sit here and be like, this is normal and acceptable. And we have to sit here and be told by the like sycophants in the Republican Party that we are crazy for even questioning if he's sundowning, that we are just projecting, and that it was Joe Biden who was sundowning, not Trump, as if they can't both be sundowning, and as if our eyes are just constantly lying to us. The man goes on stage and just constantly says dumb bullshit. And then when people are like, hey, that's some dumb bullshit, his supporters will be like, oh, he's just joking, he doesn't mean it. And then he'll be like, no, I'm not joking, I mean it. And then they'll be like, well, he doesn't really mean it. And he'll be like, no, I really mean it. And then he'll try to actually do it, and they'll be like, I can't believe he's actually trying to do it. But it's probably not gonna stick, so haha, the liberals are still just getting trolled. Trolling the libs, owning the libs is not policy. I am not a lib. I am very tired of dealing with the effects of the libs being owned. Like, can we stop that? It doesn't help anyone. I don't know how we got to the point where any and all policy that can have a material positive impact on anyone's life is pushed back on. But abstract policy about economic decisions to change our budget and expenditures, to jimmy around some money so that we're not spending as much money, we've gotten people to be all about that. We have an entire political party who's like, we're spending too much money at the federal level and need to stop spending money. Okay, the government starts spending 50% of the current expenditures, magically. How is that going to materially improve your life in any way? That will have no impact on your life. Your taxes aren't going down. They're not going to give you kickbacks. That's not how any of it works. I have no idea what they think is going to happen if we start spending less money on shit. Like, we spend money on shit because we have to, because we are the center of the global economic system post-World War II, and if we stop spending money on shit, we won't have debt for people to buy and hold, which is how the global economy is held together. Is that a good thing? I don't know. It doesn't matter. Good is subjective, but paying less money won't make your life better. You know, will make your life better? Funding the road system to patch up holes. Having high-speed rail so that you don't have to deal with fucking airport security to get where you want to go. Better quality standards so that we're not having outbreaks of listeria and fucking measles. Those things would materially improve your life. But unfortunately, sometimes those things also materially improve the lives of people of color and women, and we can't have that. So I guess we'll just instead prevent any and all progress and talk about spending less money while actually just putting more money in the pockets of investors. He's literally the daddy buy me North Korea girl. Fuck, did you all see that? There was that cabinet meeting he had where it just starts with like all of them glazing Trump constantly, just being like, oh my God, you're so incredible and amazing. You're this like perfect human specimen. You have done everything right. Pam Bondi said that because of Trump, he has saved the lives of like 270 million Americans by getting some fentanyl off the street, as if that is a number that makes any fucking sense. Like every single person just sat there and talked about how incredible he was to his face. So much so, Ann Coulter took to Twitter and was like, this is too much. This is too much. Ann fucking Coulter was made uncomfortable by how much they're glazing Trump. Ugh. Anyway, Tina Book says, hey y'all, long time no see. Glad to finally catch a stream again. Yeah, it's been a minute. How do I add pronouns to the chat log? So you can go to the lodge and customize your pronouns there. That didn't post a thing. There. You can log into the lodge with your Discord account and you can go to your settings to set your pronoun. It should start showing up. If it doesn't show up, then that's, I don't know, my fault. Yeah, for anybody who's hanging out, if you are interested in joining the community, if you like this space, you like these folks, you should definitely join the Astral Campgrounds. So you can head to that link. I have a community that is a Discord community, but so much more. It's called the Astral Campgrounds. It's a thing I've been working on for quite some time. There's a Discord, there's a Mastodon server, there's a blogging platform, there is all sorts of stuff. And we have a custom hub app called The Lodge, where you can log in with your Discord account and customize your appearance on my stream here. I'm also working on a bunch of other stuff so that other people can make use of this like custom chat screen and other features from all around the campgrounds. And that is what this Stardust Relay Connected thing means. I just launched this yesterday. I'm building essentially a service that bridges the gap between a whole bunch of internet services specifically for the betterment of this community. And it's just a free bonus service for everyone. So, yeah. I didn't explain that very well. But you should come join the community. It's great. There's a lot more information on our wiki, which is also a thing that exists. I'm actually anti-noun, thank you very much. I do not like persons, places, or things. Well, you know what? Same. Nouns are fine, I just don't care for folks who are pro-noun. That's the other thing, is people getting pressed about pronouns. I understand that there's a lot of people who see neo-pronouns and they're like, what is this? I get it, right? Neo-pronouns are definitely a step too far for a normie. It makes sense. I get it. I don't think that it's worth getting up in arms about it, but I understand. And that's what a lot of people are like thinking with the pronoun stuff. But like, I saw an exchange on a conservative forum recently where I think like the DOD was told that they're no longer allowed to put their pronouns in their signature of an email. And there were some people in the comments being like, okay, this is great. This is great because fuck pronouns. Although I do concede that sometimes if somebody has an ambiguous name, it's helpful to have their pronouns so I know how to address them. And so it's like they identified, like, okay, again, accessibility is good for everyone. Stating your pronouns is helpful, especially in certain cases. But they were like so anti-pronouns that they came up with their own solution, which was to make sure that you include honorifics in your name, Mr. or Mrs. or whatever. Which is the fucking same! Like, you're just finding a different thing to use to denote gender. You're still denoting gender. You're still denoting how you want people to refer to you. You just are mad that people are using pronouns because of reasons? Because you're that fucked up in the head? What the hell? Like, in what world is this a thing? Like, how good must your life be that this is what you care about? How good must your life be that this is a problem for you? I would love for that to be a problem that I have. I would love to be able to be upset about people identifying themselves using a pronoun. That sounds like a much nicer life. It's that level of ignorance and idiocy and shallowness sounds like a much easier life than paying attention to shit and caring about people. You must be happy. That's all I gotta say about that. I can't link my Twitch account, Sag. Is it not working? What, are you getting an error? Oh, I might know why. No. Are you getting an error? Can you tell me what the error says? If you could post it in the like bugs thread in Discord, I would appreciate that. That's unfortunate. You should be able to link your Twitch account and it shouldn't error. I'll look into that after I finish streaming. Bugs may happen. This is all written from scratch by me, so whoops. As someone who works with folks from around the world and don't necessarily know gender rules for their names, pronouns are essential. I'd like to not be an ass, please, and thank you. Yeah, for sure. Especially because honorifics aren't always perfect either, like doctor. Me telling you pronouns is an invitation. You're not required to use them. I'm not making you, but you just don't know that people will treat you like an asshole. Wait. But you just don't like that people will treat you as an asshole when you're much more visibly being an asshole by not using said pronouns. Yes. Yeah. I don't know what happened to people having the ability to stand on business. Like, I don't know when we started having a situation where oh, interesting. Okay, sorry. Getting distracted. I don't know when we ended up in a situation where it's like, I'm gonna be an ass, and you're gonna be triggered, ha 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 ha, and then somebody gets upset at you for being an ass, and then you're like, why are you upset with me? What happened to the tolerant left? Like, you're being an ass. Stand on being an ass. You know? Thank you for redirecting me. I think I can fix that bug really quick. Let me fix that bug really quick. Wait. Can I fix that bug really quick? I'm gonna try to fix that bug really quick. Let's see. Real time. All right. This is me trying to see if I can fix that bug. I don't know if I'll be able to, but we'll find out. We'll find out. I'm on the old lappity tappity right now. I've got the, let's see. That's not the right window. I wish I could share my screen here, but I promise, look, it's code. It's code. I'm fixing things. I'm gonna go to a file. What file do I need to go to? I need to go to that file. I need to change this temporarily. Wait. Yeah. Maybe. Yeah, I can do that. See what happens. Let's see. Why? Why is everything working against me right now? Fix. Trying to commit. Okay, fix. Push that up. Deploy. All right, it's deploying. See? Look, it's building. It's building. Deploy. Okay, it's deployed. Try logging out of the lodge, logging back in, and connecting your Twitch account. If it doesn't work, then I don't know. Also, I might have just broken logging in. Let me see if I just broke logging in entirely. Or logging out. Does that work? Okay, no, it should work. All right. If you try that. We'll see. I'm gonna write that in Discord too. Try logging out and back in, then connecting Twitch. See if that work. Code boy. I was a code boy. Yeah, sorry. I saw the Chiron. I was just also actively coding. I feel like this needs the Jeopardy song. Jazz music stops. The code is too big, Big Senpai? Or the code is too big, Senpai. Got it. Got it. I still see it. Like you still can't connect your Twitch account. But what about this? Does this help? Does that help? It worked. I'm amazing. I fucking rule. Okay, but I need to figure out that. I need to figure out why I had to do that. Yeah. Yeah, go to the settings page, scroll all the way down, log out, log back in, and it should work. The issue, for those who are wondering, the issue is a cookie issue. I might just fucking do away with the cookie at this point, but the issue is a cookie issue. So cookies are fucking dumb, and like they're really useful, but they're also really dangerous. And so there's so many rules around how cookies can work in a web browser. And when you're using a cookie, which let me back up, a cookie in a web browser, when you hear like, do you want to accept cookies? It's basically the website asking, hey, can we store little bits of information in your browser temporarily so that we can use that to identify you? A cookie is just a tiny bit of information stored in your browser that your browser sends along to a web server, so that when you're logged into a website, it sets a cookie that says like, hey, you're logged in, you're this person. And that cookie has usually an expiration date and it can be like deleted, but it also has a bunch of rules around like who can see this cookie, where it can go, and where it can be used. I believe the issue that I just fixed was I had the rules for the login cookie were too strict. And so when you were going to Twitch to authenticate and then coming back, the cookie wasn't being included. And so the lodge didn't think that you were logged in, hence you seeing unauthorized. So I changed it to be more loose with the rules around when the cookie can be used to fix that path. I don't know if I just made any sense, but cookies are dumb, and I should probably not be using cookies. So, there's that. A pre-captcha, if you will. I would assume cookies have expiration dates, otherwise they'll be stale. Boo. That made sense to me. I think I get it. Okay, good. Good. Yeah, cookies are just, like, literally, they can't be more than, like, 4 kilobytes. And it's just, like, when you log in, typically what happens, like, the most common case, probably, is the server that says, like, oh, okay, I checked your username and password, they're correct. It'll set a cookie that just, like, has some unique token, like some like unique identifier, like a string of letters and numbers that the server can then decrypt to see that it's you and like prove that the server said it's you previously. Like the server's like, okay, I anoint you with this cookie, and then every time that you go back to that website, the cookie gets sent to the server, and the server says, "Oh, you, gotcha, hi." It's like wearing a name badge. It's like a name, like a nameplate, and just like a nameplate, everyone knows what your fucking name is when you wear it. So sometimes cookies are bad. What are alternatives to cookies? There's other ways to store information in your browser that aren't cookies. There's local storage, session storage, indexed DB, and a handful of other like obscure methods of storing data. These are all, they all have their drawbacks and benefits, but cookies are among the easiest to just like set and keep. The problem is that they can also be used for a lot of evil, which is why browsers have put so many rules in place. Hey, got linked. Thank you. I'm glad that it worked. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Are caches unrelated? Caches are, a cache is just like a, well, browsers have a cache, and caches are not cookies. Caches and cookies are different. The browser cache is just a bunch of temporary files that your browser stores to not have to go download all those files again. If you go to a website, that website's going to have, you know, the content of the website, the images that are displayed on the website, the audio backing track that's being played on my MySpace homepage, and all those things need to be downloaded. And if they're relatively big files, your computer doesn't want to have to download them every single time that you change a website. Those will be stored in a cache. Cookies are separate. They are little bits of information specific to individual websites that get included in the browser request to a web server. So like when you go to www.astral.camp, your browser will include cookies when it goes to say like, hey, website, give me your website. Here are my cookies. And the website says, thanks for the cookies. Here's the website. Otherwise, a cache is just referring to temporarily storing data so that you don't have to go get it again. That's what a cache is in this context. Yeah. So if you ever like are told that you should like clear your cache to fix something, that's usually because your computer has a downloaded outdated version of a website, and instead of going to get the new website content, it's just loading it from the cache to save time. And that's generally good. That's generally fine, but sometimes it's not what you want. And there's like really obscure ways to work around that. Like developers will do a thing where when they build their website, they'll just like add a bunch of random letters and numbers to the end of files so that they have a different file name, so that when your browser goes to look up the file name, it doesn't think it already has it cached. It's called cache busting. Cookies are obviously stored in a cookie jar. There was a period of time back in like the skeuomorphism era of software where browsers would like render the cookies in like a cookie jar. Bring back skeuomorphism. I miss that shit. I miss it so much. Skeuomorphism. If you're not familiar with skeuomorphism, it is a derivative object that retains ornamental design cues from structures that were necessary in the original. So a lot of skeuomorphic design in software. It was seen a lot in like earlier iOS and Mac apps. I'm sure that's what's going to come up if, yeah. So like, here are some of the examples, like the camera shutter having like the actual like camera shutter close, or the voice notes looking like a microphone, the notes app looking like a notepad, the books app having bookshelves and stuff. That's called skeuomorphism, or skeuomorphic design. And it was great. It was a vibe. I miss this shit. Well, all we have now is just bland, like backrooms ass software. Look at this. This is gorgeous. Oh God. I miss it. Flicker bulbs? Yeah, like yeah, bulbs that imitate a flickering candle light. The phone icon on the smartphone. Is it still a handset? Yes, it is still a handset. Wish us luck. Mother Unit is going to try to get her account linked. I mean, as long as if you just are in the Discord, then you log into the lodge and link your Twitch account. Those are the steps. It should be fine now. I'll need to figure out why the cookie situation was busted, but we'll see. The save icon being a floppy disk. I think it's really funny that save icons are still floppy disks. I think we're just waiting until we get to the era of everything autosaves to get rid of the save icon. That said, as a person who has built software for people for a long time, like that was my career before I was doing content for like 15 years, was building internet software. People don't like autosave because they're scared that it's not working. And I totally feel that. This, if you look right here, right under my microphone on the overlay, you'll see there's a little thing that says Stardust Relay Connected. That is because the software that I wrote, the Stardust Relay, that like connects my Discord and Twitch and Lodge and Discord bot and Mastodon, all that stuff is connected together via like a live real-time connection. But I am a human being and internally don't trust software, which never trust software. And so that text there, that's real. That's not just a piece of static text that just says connected. That actually is showing me that the connection is still live. And if it drops the connection, it'll actually change to say disconnected. And that's there primarily for me to feel okay and know that my shit is still working and then everything is still connected and working. And it's the same concept with autosave. You can say autosaving, last saved at blah, but people won't trust that. And they're going to want to hit like Control S or manually save regardless. And a lot of like save buttons are literally placebo now. Like they don't do anything, but they're there just to make you feel like you hit a save button so that you can feel a little better. Dev, personal question, but do you utilize therapy? In stressfulness like this, I think it's important to stay caught up on mental health. Yes, I have a therapist and a psychiatrist, and yep. Highly recommend therapy. Highly recommend a competent therapist as well. I've had not great ones in the past. Floppies still exist for long-term data storage. We still use tape. Like most, like massive record storage, like cold record storage, is mostly still on tape. Amazon Web Services, AWS, they have a service called Glacier that is mass storage with no guaranteed access time. So like if you need to access data, it might take literally up to 24 hours to access the data because they store it on tape in a giant vault somewhere. And if you haven't accessed the data in a while, it goes into deeper and deeper storage. And someone might need to physically go into a warehouse and like pry open a box with your data in it. Because that's the most efficient way to store that much data. But because of that, it is insanely cheap. It's like the cheapest option for backing up a ton of information. I miss the old Windows file transfer animation where files would go from across from folder to folder. MaxiPad, I 100% agree. Also, thank you for the follow. And Mothoth, welcome in. Says, I don't mind autosave. I just want the option to manually save because I often have specific states available as well as separate files from progressing the autosaved one. Yeah, like save as is like a different thing, right? Like save as makes a copy of the file. There's a lot of cases where save doesn't actually do anything because autosave already happens. I don't trust autosave specifically because I won't know exactly where it's being saved now that there's an automatic OneDrive thing. I prefer to choose where it saves. I have never used OneDrive. I'm very happy that I've never used OneDrive. I compulsively save as well. Like I use Obsidian for almost all of my writing now, and I constantly hit I hit Control S, which doesn't do anything. It's not mapped to anything because it saves as I type. But I will never stop having that habit, because one time when I was like, I don't know, 14, I spent an entire day working on a game idea. Like I was like writing code for a game. I had spent so long getting all this stuff to work. I was much less adept at what I was doing than I am now. And I never once hit save. I hadn't had that pivotal moment yet where I learned my lesson. That day I learned my lesson. It was traumatic enough that I now just compulsively save constantly, because I lost like 8 hours of work. And as a child, that seems like an insurmountable loss, right? Like when you're that young, losing a full day of work feels, it's the end of days. Now that happens all the goddamn time to me, but back then I was really upset. Sounds like a badass job, like an archivist. It's the Magnus archives in my brain. I've always wanted to do some kind of meaningful digital archival, and I never get around to it. We're gonna put on Jangly just for a bit, and then I'm probably gonna get some lunch soon. Call Me Kai says, I don't even mean to use OneDrive. My computer puts stuff in there anyway, and the folders are called the same thing. I'm probably going to switch off of Windows soon. I don't use Windows for anything but this. This is, like, streaming is the only reason I have Windows right now, and I don't think I really need it. Wait. Look who just subscribed. Chef de Cuisinart, thank you for the Prime. Thank you. Other platforms are getting much better at, like, supporting streaming software and being good at using streaming software. The only reason that I still have Windows is in case I want to stream certain games that are not available on other platforms. And that's it. And like I can use adapters. Like Linux has a lot of really good gaming adapters now, and it's a little bit easier to run certain games on Mac if they're not meant for Mac. But yeah, like this is a good computer. But I'm on Windows 10. I don't want Windows 11. I can't upgrade to Windows 11 because it doesn't have the fucking hardware for it, because that's stupid requirement. And like I don't want to deal with their bullshit. I'm so tired of Microsoft. I don't want to have an operating system that I have to make an account with their live service thing and constantly install their updates just to be able to use it. Like they're trying to get rid of the option to use Windows as like a piece of software and instead you have to treat it like a service. I don't want to have to pay a fucking subscription fee for my operating system. And like also Windows is just kind of trash in comparison to Mac and Linux at this point in terms of just general user experience. So I don't know. I don't have loyalty to a given operating system. I use Windows, Linux, and Mac all day, every day. Like I don't have one that I use, but that I like exclusively use. But like, of the three, Windows just feels the most dated, and it feels the most obtuse. Ye olden G4 Macintosh gave me save paranoia. I still hear the freaking quack sounds. Oh no. Yeah. Oh god, I remember that. Oh. The beach ball and the quacks. Oh god. OneDrive is automatically enabled in new installs of Windows 11. You can disable it. It will delete your stuff, so make sure to back it all up. Yeah, like, I don't want I don't want ads in my operating system. I don't want your dumb features that I didn't activate that are required and defaulted. I don't want your baked-in AI. I don't want that shit at all. I saw that in, like, newer versions of Microsoft Word, they started adding, like, Microsoft's Copilot to it. And even if you say, I don't want this, it still like renders a little Copilot button on the current line that you're writing on as like an advertisement for it, basically. And it's like, why? Why are you doing this? Can we please stop this? I take Windows 8.1 over the current 11, but would you take Windows 8.0 over the current 11? Haven't used Word in over a decade. Neither have I. I'm actually genuinely surprised at the number of people that still use Microsoft Word for general writing. And that's not a dig. If you use Microsoft Word for general writing, like it is built for that. That is what it does. There exist far better options for specific types of writing. And I'm surprised that they're not more prevalent. For example, Obsidian for any kind of writing that doesn't need to be structured writing and can just be marked down. Obsidian's great for just lightweight note taking. Scrivener is purposely designed for writing a book. If you're writing a novel, get Scrivener. Like it is writing software that is tailored to writing long form novels or screenplays. Even if you just want an alternative to Word, LibreOffice is great. OpenOffice / I guess really LibreOffice is wonderful. It's very capable. It's free and open source. It does not require any subscription bullshit. And it's not owned by Microsoft, and it's free, and it works with docx files, as does all of their like it's a full Office replacement. So you can get a Word replacement, an Excel replacement, basically all those things. They're not as 100% one-to-one as the originals, but they're pretty freaking close and free. So like if you don't want Copilot, but you want a Microsoft Word-like experience, just get LibreOffice. Free. Lots of options. Don't use Microsoft stuff if you don't need to. Need either Word or InDesign for projects. I'd rather deal with Microsoft than Adobe. That's a very much a rock and a hard place. What kind of projects? Like, what is the file type that you're working with there? Because I would assume that you're talking about like exporting PDFs or something like that. Because if is InDesign, is that the one that's like for layouts? Yeah, layout design and desktop publishing software. A good InDesign alternative would be Affinity Publisher, which I've been using for Proscenium actually. Yeah, page layout and design powerhouse. So Affinity is pretty rad. It is a relatively small software suite. It's like 3 different apps. One-time purchase, not a subscription. You can just install and use. It's great. But yeah, they've got a like a Photoshop equivalent, a InDesign equivalent, and a like Canva-ish equivalent, like a vector design equivalent. But yeah, this is what I've been using to make the book version of Proscenium, which I have not updated in a while at this point, but it's very good. It's very good. I wish more people knew about the Ninite service that pools open source and free alternatives together. There's also privacytools.io, which is a good place to look for stuff. Privacytools.io. Let me paste this into chat. This is a great website for finding private or secure or free versions of different types of software. They rank them by like, usability, but also safety. So it's like, this is the most secure, but the least usable, stuff like that. A Scott with Scotch says, I already use OpenOffice if I ever need to use a word processor, but I do most, if not all, my writing from Obsidian. It's just a plain better than any other program I've tried. I'm with you there. Obsidian is my love and light of my life. Yeah, so like they recommend VPNs, browsers, with like different degrees that they explain like what to think about while you're using different stuff. Cloud storage options. Yeah. Is nice. I think you just let me cancel my Office subscription. Hell yeah. Perfect. Yeah. Affinity is great. I really like their stuff. I really like that it's a one-time purchase. So like I miss buying software and then having software and not having to have a subscription and not having it be a web app that I have to go to and have to be online for. Like Affinity apps are all offline installable apps. They're also available if you buy the license, you get them on iPad as well. So if you have an iPad, you can get all 3 of those apps on iPad. I'm gonna go to sleep, gang. I'm sitting for the win. Have a good day, night, all of you. Welcome back from the UK again, Dev. Thank you so much, Kai. And y'all, I'm actually probably gonna wrap it up here because I'm a hungry boy. and it sounds like it's raining a lot outside. And Flynn doesn't seem super thrilled about that. Gonna wrap it up here. Gonna be back on stream on Thursday. Yes, that's my schedule. So I'm gonna be streaming on Thursday. Again, same time at 11. I am very much hoping that I'm going to be doing more streams in the next few weeks as well, in addition to the two. I'm probably going to do, I want to try doing body doubling streams, like co-working / body doubling stuff every once in a while. We'll see. That could be fun. Anyway, join the Discord if you're not in there. And follow me on YouTube if you're not doing that. And join the Astral Campgrounds, which is the Discord, but more. Yeah. I'm so excited to be back. I'm really, really, really happy to be back. I can't wait to get back to just my normal content schedule. It's been a minute, and I'm rearing to go. So I will see y'all on Thursday, bright and mid-morning. Take care. Be well. See you then. Bye-bye.